Yokoso, 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 arigato gozaimasu. Welcome to episode 83 of the Stadia Monday Night Chat, ladies and gentlemen, with me, your host, of course, Clive Illenden, and boy, do we have a bumper-packed edition when it comes to Stadia news of this week, which is a little bit ironic, given what they said about moving the TFOS post to a fortnightly version. But more on that later, ladies and gentlemen, more on that. Now, of course, let me know what games you've been playing in the chat. Yeah? Have you claimed your Pro titles on this Stadia Pro Day? Yeah, favourite day of the month, Stadia Pro Day. Have you tried them out? Put that in the chat as well. Also, of course, remember, ladies and gentlemen, hit the likes because I like it. YouTube likes it. And it helps people like you find content like this. And if you are new here, yokoso, please consider subscribing. Hit that subscribe button. Toggle that notification bell so you know when I go live with content like this, ladies and gentlemen. Also, of course, big shout out to my new and existing channel members. I hope you enjoyed the new exclusive content, Stadia Reddit Fridays. It was a lot of fun. Look out for more of this on Friday. And if you are suffering from FOD, fear of missing out, then well, please feel free to join the members downstairs. Here's a little snippet. Yeah, if you want to join the channel members, here's a little snippet from last Friday's exclusive content. Let me just get it up here. Not that. Here we go. Good job that says Discord, not Facebook, which I can't down tick you on that. He's here, ladies and gentlemen, he's here. Yes. The person I was looking for is in the chat. Here we go. I've not read it yet. It's Classic Rando, ladies and gentlemen. Classic Rando. You can guarantee he's left. He's walked out the door so many times on the community blog. That's it. I'm done. I've finished with Stadia. That's it. I've gone. I'm done. I'm done with this. Like, he's never happy. He's never happy. I always check out to see the Classic Randos on there. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. So that's what we do. We go through the Reddit. We have a look at the community blog. We'll have a look at people, what they're saying, especially on Reddit. But it's always a delight to see Classic Rando in the Stadia community blog comments. You can guarantee he's always there with a cheerful, positive comment. And he's been like that since day one, ladies and gentlemen. So that's the sort of thing we do on the Stadia Reddit Fridays, exclusive content for my channel members, ladies and gentlemen, channel members. I just thought I'd share a little snippet there for you guys. Anyway, let's say hi to those early birds. I'm just going to click on that bit there. Let's say hi to those early birds, of course, in the chat who've grabbed the front seats for today's show and all of that. Let's have a quick look, a quick hello, see who is in there, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, Jerome, always in there, either first or near the front. Lovely to see you, Jerome. Jerome's having problems with his NVIDIA Shield, so if anybody can help him, and his Stadia controller not connecting with it properly, so anybody can help him, please feel free. Ray, the gaming cyborg, always delight, always the pleasure, and oh man, yeah, it's the cowboy himself. He's in the house, ladies and gentlemen, in the house. Jerome got his free Premier Edition. I got mine last week, I think, or a week and a bit ago. Anybody else get their free Premier Edition if they'd ordered it or ordered a game? Ninja Guy, hello, Crow Razine and Tifa. Lovely to see you. Of course, Christopher. Jamie, favourite show of the week. Thank you, sir. Inled will be standing on the shoulders of Inled later in the show. Of course, Yoshida, arigato gozaimasu, yokoso. Lovely to see you. Tifa's been playing Cyberpunk, Dirt 5, Riders Republic. Even given 100 days a run. Maybe you should taste the wine when you've done 100 days, you know. Played a bit of Saints Row, says the People's Club. Hello, the People's Club. Welcome. And that 1950 sitcom had me laughing. I have to check that out. Chilled Frank. Lovely to see you. Get set Stadia. Jerry. And hello, School. Lovely to see you. Looking forward to Monster Hunter. We all are, I'm sure. That will be an exciting title should that ever land. Games I've been playing. Well, yes, I have delved into Dirt 5 today. Really nice. Great. It's my kind of arcade racer. You know, very straightforward, very forgiving, lots of fun, bright, beautiful drifting around corners, kind of crazy cars, and absolutely runs. I know there's some people had a few stuttering problems when it first launched. Don't know if they've updated it or patched it or whatever. On the old LGC one, of course, I'm going to mention the LGC one. On the LGC one, it looks a treat. Looks a treat. Really, really good. I'm looking forward to trying Saints 4, of course, as well. But yeah, Dirt 5, very impressed, really happy. But we'll come to all the pro games later and all of that. So it's all right, Cole Stadia. The door's always open. You can come in late. That's fine. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Let's all call the Uber. Yeah. Destination Stadia News, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. And remember to give 5 stars to your driver. Okay. Here we go then. And talking of news, ladies and gentlemen, talking of news, we were, of course, all waiting with anticipation for the arrival of this week on Stadia. And if you watch Rock Reveal, of which I'm part of, I'm on with Ray, of course. If you watch Rock Reveal, they're waiting with anticipation for the arrival, of course, of the TFOS, given that it was going to be normally the pro game announcement TFOS. But no, ladies and gentlemen, no. Stadia had other plans, ladies and gentlemen. They had other plans. So Stadia have decided that they're going to take a slightly different approach to how they deliver the news updates. Okay. Interesting. Let's just, we'll have a look actually. They made a little statement on Reddit. Yes, it was on Reddit. Here she goes. I hope you're having a great start to your week. We wanted to take this opportunity to discuss an upcoming change to This Week on Stadia. We'll be moving This Week on Stadia to a bi-weekly cadence, which is fortnightly in old money. So every 2 weeks. We're committed to delivering information and updates to you all in the best way possible. And we believe that moving to this new cadence, that rhythm, the cadence, nice, is best for now. We will continue, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to highlight this bit for those in the back of the classroom. Yeah, the kids not paying attention. We will continue to see, you will continue to see our other blog posts, like our game announcements, developer Q&As, and monthly Stadia SavePoint post, plus updates on the Stadia development blog. We will continue posting feature announcements as new features roll out to everyone. During our no blog weeks, we'll be using the time to focus more on interacting with all of you wonderful Stadians. And that means you and you and you and you and you, and hopefully me. We understand that this new schedule may be disappointing. So we truly do appreciate you riding through the waves of change with us. Fair enough. Please note This Week on Stadia blog post will be delayed to later this week. But as a surprise, keep your eyes peeled for a different post from the team later that morning. So that was on Tuesday. Now, ladies and gentlemen, of course, this is Reddit. Yeah, Grace has posted on Reddit. So, of course, this was met with joyous and optimistic news as we can... No. It's Reddit, ladies and gentlemen. If you ever want to see what is wrong with Reddit, right, and the erroneous conclusion jumping that goes on, and then somehow the hundreds and hundreds of thumbs up that erroneous conclusion gets, that perpetuates that erroneous statement, is just mind-boggling. But if you need to understand where Reddit is in its sort of mindset, then just read some of these comments. Look at this. Cheerful Charlie's in the house, So basically, we don't have enough news to make a weekly update. So we're going to switch to a bi-weekly update in the hope we can actually have some news. 124 ups. That got? Yeah, I agree with you. I'm grumpy like you. Yeah. I did put a comment on there. Exactly. Here we are. Gwilly the boy. Actually, they did what they wrote here. They announced the new games and features on separate messages. Is it really so important? Is it really so important that they do it separately or all together once a week? Yeah, exactly. Anyway, that's Reddit for you, ladies and gentlemen. Did we expect anything else from that knee-jerk reaction? Dude, that man, Stadia's dead. We're going to Fortnightly. No, read the details. Read the details. Yeah? So, clearly, ladies and gentlemen, clearly the way the week panned out in terms of news, what with new game announcements, pro titles, the features, Stadia features mentioned, there was actually not less news, ironically, last week. There was more news. There were 3 blog posts. So the amount of news is the same. Yeah, they're just changing how, when, and what is delivered. That's all, and how it's reported. Anyway, as I said, as if to prove my point, ladies and gentlemen, we actually ended up with 3 blog posts from Stadia in 3 days. Yeah. Oh no, they don't have enough news. 3 blog posts in 3 days. Anyway, let's actually take a look at the Stadia news and the official announcements and all the other news from last week, ladies and gentlemen. Right, starting off with... Blip, 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 blip. So we had Riders Republic, Dragon Ball Z, Kakarot, and PJ Masks' Heroes of the Night. So basically, Google has added 89 games since the start of this year, with 10 weeks left to meet its promise of at least 100 titles to be added during the calendar year 2021. Of course, that's now 90 titles because of one of the Pro games. Perhaps more excitingly, 2 new games to Stadia were also announced, and we can see that here. It's just a white blog. There we go. So, ladies and gentlemen, look. World War Z, Aftermath, and Fire Commander coming to Stadia. Now, hopefully this hasn't got any commercial music in it. Shall I play it? I'm not going to risk it. I'll just read it. I'll play that, and then you can see. Sit down, strap in, get ready to play 2 action-packed games during the Stadia store, coming to the Stadia store. World War Z Aftermath, launching this winter, ladies and gentlemen, and Fire Commander arriving next year. So straight from the silver screens, World War Z Aftermath challenges Stadia players to turn the tide of a zombie apocalypse, of course, fighting their way through hordes of undead with up to 3 friends. Up to 3 friends. When it launches this winter, interested in containing a different kind of catastrophe, then Fire Commander's your thing. Before we go to that, let me know. This looks a real fun. I mean, we got the zombie games, haven't we? We've got Zombie Army and all that kind of stuff. But this looks really, it looks a really fun game, and be able to team up with 3 mates, multiplayer. Sounds pretty good. We don't have an exact date. We just know it's coming this winter. Do they mean by the end of December or potentially by the end of March? We're not sure. Given the language they say with this other title we're going to look at, which is, wow, look at all these things. New stories from a world at war. You've got all these features. Look at that on a giant cruise ship. Vatican City. Experience a heart-pounding new perspective with Aftermath's immersive new first-person shooter option. Level up 8 unique classes. The Gunslinger. Oh, it's got classes as well. Hellraiser, Slasher, Medic, Fixer, Exterminator, Drone Master, and all new Vanguard class, each with their own perks. All right, so a bit like a sort of class like like Apex type thing. And then the other game. Now, this other game is Fire Commander, and they said this is coming next year. So the fact that they use the language next year for this and winter for the other one, I'm assuming World War Z is hopefully by the end of December. Fingers crossed. Anyway, but Fire Commander here. Put this one on. So a real-time tactical action game. So you basically fire up ahead a group of firefighters, manage a fire station, facing the fire, making decisions that can affect the lives of many. So a strategy game, a real-time action and strategy game there. Again, a very different approach. But I know there's a big demand for these sort of real-time action sort of strategy games. So again, that's coming. Bit like a grown-up Ember. That's what that is, I guess. It's a bit like a grown-up Ember, isn't it? Anyway, so 2 new games, as I say, were mentioned there. So that's pretty impressive for a company that's got no news this week or whatever. So there you go. But there was more, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, as I said, there were 3 community blogs last week. The other one here, to see if they mentioned the 3 games, which came soon after their announcement about the cadence, was platform features. So they're focusing on the platform features, which is really, really cool that they're doing this. We're excited to celebrate more than 20 games available in the Stadia store that have integrated Stadia platform features, like State Share, Stream Connect, Crowd Play, and Crowd Choice. Powered by cloud gaming technology, developers have taken advantage of these features to change the way you play, share, and experience your favorite games on Stadia, ladies and gentlemen. This is really interesting because they're really highlighting the key features that make Stadia unique. You know, we take it all a bit for granted, but no other cloud platform can do this kind of stuff. So that's why I think this is really interesting, you know, for them to sort of focus on it. And not only that, they sort of focused it on this blog post. They've also added the features in the store, so you can see which games have State Share, Stream Connect, Crowd Play, and Crowd Choice. But as I say, it's more than that. What's also interesting is they've gone back some existing games that are on the platform, or the developers have gone back to existing games on the platform and added in the features. So this isn't just focusing on those games which we already knew had those features, but it also includes games which features have been added to. So that's the really, to me, that's a really exciting thing. And 2 of those games are Serious Sam 4 and Doom Eternal. And it's the Doom Eternal, I think, is the most interesting of these additions, as it were. Given the fact that Doom Eternal, of course, is from id Software, which is owned by Bethesda. Bethesda is owned by Microsoft. But they've gone back to Doom Eternal and they've added state share. And not only that, the developers, so id Software, have done a Horde run for part of the Horde mode, which is a new DLC for Doom Eternal. And you see sort of how long you can last and how many monsters from hell you can kill. And they've created a state share and shared it out and challenged you, anybody who wants to do it, to see if they can beat the developers. What a really, not only that is a cool thing, anybody, it was any developer, but the very fact that this is from id Software doing this. As I said, with all these features, we sometimes forget what sets Stadia apart from other cloud gaming options. Stadia is a platform built specifically in the cloud, a gaming platform built in the cloud. And games are ported or developed specifically for that platform. What that means is they can take advantage of those unique platform complete platform elements in a way that other cloud gaming offerings can't. Like in a way that just putting a game developed for Xbox and sticking it on xCloud, you can't do it. It's basically the Xbox game on xCloud. Or a game developed specifically for PC and then sticking it on GeForce is basically the PC game. But with Stadia, you're developing specifically or porting specifically to the platform and taking on board its features. So I really like the fact that Stadia is highlighting those features. And not only that, they're backing it up with a change to the Stadia Store UI so you can see which games have those features, which is really great. And as I said, not only that, what's more impressive is to see that previously released games on Stadia are being revisited by the developers and then those features added. And as I just outlined, most significant to me is Doom Eternal. They've had an opportunity by bringing this Horde mode, this new DLC, to kind of, they haven't just like ported the DLC and gone, there you go. There's obviously been some conversation with Stadia. I don't know whether it's Stadia is pushing them or the developers sort of, id went, hey, wow, we'd like to integrate state share. That'd be really cool. I get the impression it's Stadia sort of pushing out their unique features. So the fact that it's been added to Serious Sam 4 and Doom Eternal is really cool. And I get the impression, I think it's probably coming from the Stadia side, which is them actively working with developers and publishers to highlight and push things that are unique about Stadia. As I said, don't forget Bethesda is just a small company owned by Xbox, but they're continuing to support this platform and their game on Stadia in this way. So I think it's really interesting. Quick side note on this. I think it was interesting. I mean, it's obviously had some impact in the kind of larger press, gaming press, but it's also disappointing to see that respected news sites like GameIndustry.biz, who I have a lot of time for, because they are a game industry facing blog, magazine. They're not really aimed at consumers. They're aimed at the industry, talking about what's going on in the industry. They described these features as new features, as if Stadia had just rolled them out this week for the first time, which is a little bit disappointing. I'll show you what I mean. You'll see here, Stadia launches streaming-enabled features. I don't think I have just launched them, mate. Google today announced new details for some streaming-enabled features it's previously teased for the Stadia service. Unless he's saying that the examples that we've had already were just teasers, I don't think that it's not as though it's just one game. Like Stream Connect has been in, was it in Division 2? Is it some of the Ghost Recons and stuff like that? It's in Outriders. So I don't think they've just teased them. So it's just a bit disappointing that it was good. It's positive that actually from that blog post, people were picking up on it and reporting it. But just disappointing that, again, it's just the detail, the nuance in the detail that people press consistently sort of seems to get wrong all the time. Just a detail here or a statement there, but it can make all the difference sometimes. So good to see them reporting on it, but disappointed they're just not quite accurate enough. Little bit annoying, really, for my liking. But anyway, I think it's really good that Stadia are focusing on their unique features, because they are features that no other platform can offer you. So anyway, talking of really cool benefits of Stadia, a number of people have mentioned in the past and suggested that Stadia do not really take advantage of all the free demos enough. I think most of us would agree, the best thing about Stadia, the best advert for Stadia is Stadia. Get people to play it. Yeah? People who are skeptics and don't think it will work. Just get a controller in their hand, show them, do a blind test, whatever. And 9 times out of 10, anecdotally, we have seen people be genuinely surprised at how good Stadia is and how it works. And the best way to do that is with free demos. So whenever Stadia have offered free demos, it's been really, really cool. And a lot of people said, you need to be able to allow people to try Stadia without the rigmarole of putting in credit cards or whatever, or signing up and all that kind of stuff. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the great thing about demos on Stadia is, of course, it's just click and play. So it's real instant trying before you buy. And it's super easy. Well, it seems that free trials without the need of an account, as I said, i.e. not putting your credit card in, etc., are now an ongoing thing, ladies and gentlemen. So I think this was first spotted by Gem, but now confirmed by Google themselves. 9 to 5, I think, approached them. Google Stadia's free trials don't require an account and will add more games soon, updated. So, as ever, 9 to 5, riding on the shoulders of Gem, as is the way. Wrong button there. After announcing platform-exclusive features in 2 new games today, Google Stadia is quietly adding another new feature. Starting today with 1 title, Google Stadia is adding support for free trials to games, and it doesn't even require a Stadia account. Spotted by Gem, shout out to Gem, Google Stadia has opened up the ability to get a 30-minute trial to the exclusive title Hello Engineer. Hello Engineer, of course, has come out of its sort of beta and is in its full version now. This option allows players to try out the title without a paid Pro subscription. And this title in particular is free with Pro currently. So you get to try it for a limited time before spending $20. And this option to play the trial appears on the game's listing page underneath the options for Stadia Pro. So you get full access to the game. You get full access to the game for as long as the trial lasts. Interestingly, the timer only counts at the time when you start the trial, not active play time. And then you're asked whether you'd like to play the game. And there, that's what it looks like. 30-minute trial. I think this is awesome. A really cool feature. And, just get people playing the games. That's what we've talked about. And 9 to 5 approached Stadia. And there is an update. Here it is, update. Well, actually, no, it's through a Reddit comment. Apologies. Google confirmed that this feature is in testing now and will be expanded to more games over the next couple of months, though we don't know what these games will include. Better news, though, is Google says players don't need a Stadia account at all to play these trials, taking out all friction of the process. And you know you want to take friction out of the process, ladies and gentlemen. True to the company's word, we can see this functionality here. How cool is that, ladies and gentlemen? How cool are free trials? I think this is a real way forward, and I think as publishers and developers see the benefit of this, potentially you'll see it more and more. I think it's, personally, I just think it's a great idea. And a lot of people, I say a lot of people, I've read a number of comments over the last 2 years, people suggesting this is what they need to do. And, they need to sort of take down although you can have 30-day, a free 1 month trial of Pro, which, to me is not an issue, putting a credit card in for a 1 month free trial. But I know for some people, it's just that a slight layer of friction. Well, there we go. This is what people have been, just send people a link. Look, just try it. Don't have to put any details in or whatever, credit card details. Just try it. Here's a game to try. And once they're in, they might go, oh, I'll try this, or feel more confident to have a free trial of for a Stadia Pro. And then you're going to get 39 games to try of all different types. So anyway, let me know in the chat what you think, but I think it's a really cool feature. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, finally, we got the announcement on Friday of the Stadia Pro games. Ladies and gentlemen, just stop that there. Yep. So not only, of course, mentioning that Hello Engineer, the full version has left early access, but we also got the Stadia Pro titles announced. Now, I'm wondering whether they're going to start announcing the Pro titles, and I'm all up for this personally. Whether they're going to start announcing the Pro titles basically the day before, or the working day before. So Friday was the last working day before the first of the month, and the Pro title announcement came out on Friday. So I'm wondering, and it's just purely speculation, whether going forward they'll literally make the Pro announcements the day before, which I'm quite happy with. There's no point in telling us a week before. It's not as though, I need to plan my schedule. I like to schedule the times. I like to know the games. No, because they're free. Yeah. And if you get it day before and you go, oh, I fancy, and you're not a Pro member, and you go, oh, you just become instantly a Pro member. So there's no rhyme or reason to tell us a week before. So I'd be quite happy if they told us the day before. But I think it's slightly more exciting because then basically next day you're going to be playing whatever games you're going to be playing. So anyway, Saints Row 4 re-elected was a sort of surprise package there. Saints Row 4, Dirt 5, of course. Kimono Heroes was the other one. And 100 Days Winemaking Simulator, ladies and gentlemen. And they also mentioned Child of Light now available, High Simulator now in early access, Peppa Pig, of course, available, Dragon Z we know, Riders Republic we know about, PJ Masks Hero of the Night I mentioned, and a brand new scouting feature added to Madden. So 3 blog posts. This was the 3rd blog post. But as pro games go, Saints Row 4, nobody saw that coming. Brand new game. So as I said, that makes 90 games released so far this year. So 10 weeks left, 10 games. And we know there's a handful already coming. We know there's some Ubisoft games from the back catalogue, like Child of Light and stuff that's mentioned here. We know there's some Far Cry 3, I think, Far Cry 4, and things like that. Bloodline. Far Cry Blood, things like that are due as well. Rayman Rabbids. So they could be out by the end of the year. So well on the way, I think, to hitting that 100. But anyway, I think they're really good pro games. And interestingly enough, only one game dropped out of pro. So we're net 3 pro games, taking it to anybody joining. I've said this before. Anybody joining Stadia now, or joining Stadia Pro now, is getting 39 pro games to try, which is one of the highest amounts, other than, say, at Christmas maybe last year when they went a bit bonkers on the pro games. Pretty good stuff. What's also interesting here for me, and again, I'm speculating around and having a few thoughts about this, and I'll express them, I'll share them here. I'm particularly interested in Dirt 5, because strictly speaking, this is an EA game now. It was Codemasters. It's still from Codemasters, but of course EA own Codemasters. So effectively, this can be seen as an EA game. So is this EA, albeit through Codemaster, is this EA testing the Stadia Pro waters since Jedi Fallen? Now, yes, I know we had Formula One from Codemasters, but that was when Codemasters was independent. They weren't owned by EA at the time. So this is what is interesting about this. EA bought them after that. So this is effectively the first EA title outside the original 5-game deal, any of those, to go, that's coming to Stadia Pro. Which means conversations are being had with EA. Even if this is with Codemasters, I'm pretty sure that EA will have to have signed off on this, unless it was agreed like way back when they first agreed Dirt 5 was coming to Stadia, and they said, okay, you'll have it for however long, 6 months, 9 months, and then it will go to Pro. And that was all agreed like 10 months ago. Other than that, it could be, our EA signing off on this. Just speculating. It's just interesting. But I must admit, I really like EA. No, I really like Dirt 5. It's a lot of fun, as I said. And I say, and with just one title going out of Pro, are we seeing a steady increase in the Pro games available at any one time? I.e., the library size when someone signs up growing? Now, this is something Stadia have said in interviews. I think that they're going to try to do, or one of the things their data was feedback from customers, and data was telling them, this was back in December, something they were looking to do in 2021. I think John Justice mentioned it, as I say, in an interview in December 2020, or it could have been Jack Booser. But one of those in an interview said that they were looking to expand the amount of titles in Stadia Pro at any one time. And also with the addition of this new Stadia Pro revenue model coming into effect, is this all part of that strategy? Now, I don't think we have enough months quite yet to sort of see whether there's a real true trend. But so far, it looks like, it certainly indicates as much. And now, shout out to InLed. This is InLed's work, of course. Those that don't know InLed. He does great work. Waiting for his tableau. Here we go. Okay, so let's just have a quick look at this Stadia Pro collection at the moment. So if you've been claiming from the get-go 111 pro games out of about 200 titles in the library. So more than 50% of the library, of the total library of pro game, have been pro games. An average of 4.4 a month, considering that initially they said they were going to be offering as part of Stadia Pro 1 to 2 games a month, 1 to 2 games. It's averaging out of 4.4. This is averaging out over nearly 2 years. which is pretty good. And the availability of games is pretty consistent here, apart from Christmas. This was last December when they went a bit bonkers. I think that's an outlier, so you can sort of ignore that. But what's interesting here, towards the end of the year, you can see the pattern. Towards the end of last year, you had 6, 5, 5, 6, 6, 6. And now you've got, towards this end of the year, 6, 6, 5, and 4. So not far off this. But what's more interesting is less games are going out. So if we look at the total available games at any one time, here's where you see this trend. I think we're seeing a trend. You can discount December here last year, okay, as an anomaly because they went bonkers. They released 9 pro games, I seem to remember. Yeah, 9 pro games in December last year. Could we see something similar? I don't know. I think they try to rush out a lot of stuff towards the end of last year because it was their sort of first, calendar year, as it were. So there's a bit of an anomaly here. So if you take that out of the equation, you can start seeing here from July, there's a definite upward trend. Yeah? Of the amount of available titles at any one time, because the amount of titles they're taking out is less and less. So although, you can say, well, Clive, look, they had 6 here, 6 here, 6 here. Yeah, but they're taking out less. So we're net 3. 1 game is going out. Whereas here you have 2 or 3 games sometimes. Here, 1 game is going out. So we're net 3. And over the since August, look, you see this steady trend. So is this trend going to continue? Is it, as I say, part of the strategy was the new Stadia Pro revenue model they're offering publishers and developers, and basically helping feed their strategy to increase that sort of pro library available to anyone who happens to join at any one time. But 39 games. If you join Stadia Pro, you have access straight away to 39 games. In fact, of course, you have access to more because there's some free games. So if you sign up to Stadia Pro, you instantly got 40 games in your back pocket. And they're a good variety of games as well. So that's really cool. So shout out to Inled. I love his graphs. They're so bright and colourful. I love the colours. Being someone who's colourblind, I like bright colours. There you go. But anyway, I just think it's interesting. And the value, and I've always said, the longer you're a pro member, the more value you get out of it, really. That's the great thing. But equally, it's becoming better and better to sign up at any one point. So good stuff. On other games, the news keeps coming. The news has been non-stop this week. On other games news front, as it were, games news front, news games front, whatever. Anyway, Fast and the Furious, Spy Racers, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, Google Stadia versions, i.e. the next-gen versions, I think you'll find, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, with the big boys, Stadia with the big boys, have been delayed and will release after the initial launch on PlayStation 4, Xbox One and the Switch and PC Digital on November the 5th. And this is basically Outright Games just outlining that they'll be sharing the release dates for the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X/S and Stadia very soon. So Fast and the Furious Spy Racers, The Rise of the Shifter, is delayed there. So just letting us know that is the case, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just get rid of that. Okay. And another Stadia game is set for some new DLC, ladies and gentlemen. So it looks like Resident Evil Village set to receive free DLC. This reveal was buried deep in the company's recent annual integrated report. Capcom has said that Resident Evil 3 is set to receive free DLC sometime in the future. Now, I'm a bit curious because wasn't there meant to be some sort of team battle game when you completed, that's due when you completed Resident Evil Village? I forget what it was called, but there was certainly some DLC that was available to everybody who completes Resident Evil Village. But this looks like different DLC. News of the free DLC was published, as I say, in the company's recent integrated report. Yoichi Egawa spoke briefly about the company's development strategy and how plans for Resident Evil would factor into that. Taking into account the situation of our free additional DLC for titles such as Monster Hunter Rise and Resident Evil Village. So hopefully we'll see that on Stadia. Ladies and gentlemen, a free DLC for Resident Evil Village, plus that other mode, which is bugging me now, I can't remember what it was called, that's due for Resident Evil Village, unless IGN had just been have got a short memory and that's what they're actually talking about and they haven't put two and two together. Either that or it's different DLC. Anyway, we'll see. And talking of games that play really well on Stadia, Cyberpunk. So apparently there is now a third roadmap. Let's get it up here. Cyberpunk update. So CD Projekt Red have quietly given Cyberpunk another content roadmap. It's third in total, and this time they've hidden it well. Unlike the first two, which were pushed out to investor briefings on social media, the best I could tell, this new third map is only posted on this original Our Commitment page that originally went up in January 2021. With the new graphic promising updates, improvements and free DLCs in 2022, along with the next-gen release of the game. Every time CD Projekt Red posts a roadmap, it gets more nebulous. And the tradition continues here with this third one, which is reflective of the recent delays we've seen, and also seems to speak to content coming to the rest of the year or lack thereof. So they're speculating about possible DLC, but it keeps changing. This is the third roadmap apparently CD Projekt Red have. This is from Paul Tassi over at Forbes magazine. There you go. But they'll be interesting for a game that runs pretty well on Stadia. Good to get some DLC for that. In other DLC, of course, there was a launch trailer, which I don't have here. Let me just see if I can find it. A launch trailer for Ghost Recon Breakpoint. And here it is. So I'll put that there. Yeah, so Ghost Recon Breakpoint, free DLC here, Operation Motherland, coming very, very soon. So obviously, Ubisoft title, all of that will be coming to Stadia as well, as you can see. So I don't think it's a massive leap to assume that this is going to be coming to Stadia overall, but the trailer for it has been released. There you go. It's got conquest mode in it. You're going back to the island of Aurora. What's it called? I think it's called Aurora, isn't it? And there's different factions set up now across the island. And then you're sort of going in there, dealing with the different factions that have kind of infiltrated the island. I think that's the gist of it. Anyway, do you get the idea? But anyway, it's good to see continued DLC, especially from Ubisoft, because we know it's going to be coming to Stadia. And that's always cool. Yeah, prepare your squad to return to Aura ghosts, the situation is rapidly developing. New factions and activity are around the island. As I said, that's basically the gist of it. So pretty cool. Is it the sort of thing that's going to pull you back to Ghost Recon Breakpoint? Are you that bothered about it? I don't know. Let me know in the chat, of course. And there's more stuff, ladies and gentlemen, for you Elder Scrolls fans out there. Deadlands trailer, Stadia. So I think this has been a year-long event. And this is launched, I think, today. This is DLC, launched today. Put that in talking there. Coming to Elder Scrolls, as I say, I do believe it's kind of launched today. There was a, there was a little, I think I had the actual main page. Okay. I'll describe it to you, ladies and gentlemen. It's the cataclysmic conclusion to the Gates of Oblivion year-long adventure. It begins in Elder Scrolls Online, Deadlands. It's up to you to stop the Daedric Prince's infernal schemes. There we are. That's what that's all about. So more content coming, which is all good and dandy. So, as I said, pretty packed news week, really. What with new games, the Stadia Pro titles, focusing on the unique features, adding games with revisiting games and putting those features in, and all of that. Games launching left, right, and center, as I said. Introduction of the free demo plays, free time trials for games, starting with Hello Engineer. I think you'll agree, ladies and gentlemen. I think you've got to agree. It's a bumper-packed news week. As I say, with more game announcements of titles arriving this year and for next year, features being added to existing games on platforms. Stadia's not standing still. Oh no, it's going forward. It's going forward every week, constantly adding games, building features, tweaking things. All indications of forward planning. And as I've mentioned before, a sure sign of investment in a company can be seen in the recruitment they're doing. And I've focused on Stadia hires on this show over the last sort of 3-4 weeks. But I tell you what, if you ever do check out the Stadia hires, if you think Stadia's going anywhere, check out the number of jobs that they're looking to recruit, the roles they're looking to fill, across the board as well. If you do a quick search on, go here, on the Google careers, you've got UX developer, design Stadia, product security engineer, software services, which covers the security of Stadia. Lead game publishers partnerships, YouTube, which mentions about the relationships with Stadia. Product security engineering, again, which includes Stadia. This is more engineering here, protecting Stadia. These are technical lead, developer tools, Stadia, working on those developer tools. We've talked about that. Engineering manager, engineering productivity for Stadia. Strategic business development manager. We've talked on that. There's 2 of those roles. One in, looks like, oh no, they're in different offices. So 2 of those roles there. Technical program manager, commerce and payments for Stadia. So making sure that the commerce and payments processes work correctly for publishers and developers, so they get paid and all that kind of stuff. Partner solutions and strategy manager. Again, we talked about that last week, I think. Again, it's covering Stadia. It's gone all a bit doolally. Now, one interesting role here, basically there's loads. Partner solutions, strategy manager, engineer manager, Stadia developer tools, Engineer manager, Stadia, pricing and billing, as I said, again, making sure the pricing and billing functionality works for consumers and the developers and publishers. Staff, software engineer, front end, Stadia. Engineering manager, client, software development kit for Stadia. Software staff, software developer services for Stadia. Software engineer 3, full stack, Stadia graphics infrastructure. Software engineer level 3, Stadia playability, product manager, Stadia, technical integration manager, experience in studio, that's for Stadia, product manager, content, Google Stadia, product planner, game streaming, Stadia, product catalog, program manager, Google Store, which also incorporates Stadia in the job description. When I say, if it doesn't say Stadia there, it means it's got Stadia mentioned in its job description. Strategic partner manager, Stadia. So loads. They are busy, ladies and gentlemen. But as I said, one interesting role here, I came across here. Where is it? One interesting role that caught my eye that I'd not seen before is this one here. Right. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Director of Channel Operations, Asia Pacific. So we're talking, you know, Japan, Korea, China, all that side of it. Asia Pacific. Knowledge of the APAC region, technology channels, retailers, operators, business climate, right? Climate, all of that. So somebody operating and working, representing Google, not necessarily Google Stadia, but Google in that area. But what is interesting here about the job, the Devices and Service Business Organization focuses on Google branded hardware such as Nest, Pixel and others, and key subscription services such as Stadia, Google One, etc. Our team is the business stream for devices and services responsible for delivering the profit and loss results and for leading partnerships. We work with carriers, retailers, distributors, enterprise verticals, develop channel strategy, discuss commercial terms, blah, 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 shape the overall market. As Director of Channel Operations of Asia Pacific region, you'll lead business planning. But the interesting thing here is basically it's driving the Google business, in that territory and driving all their key businesses in terms of the hardware, Nest, Pixel and others, and key subscription services, Stadia and Google, etc. So I just, you know, it's not necessarily proof or definite and entirely focused on Stadia, but it's just interesting that Stadia is very much part of the overall job description and the overall portfolio of products and services. They're expecting the director of channel or the channel manager, director of operations, director of channel operations to be delivering a profit on in that area. So I just thought it was interesting. Now, shout out to Ashmonger at Ashmonger at Twitter, because he did highlight, and I think he put it in Reddit as well, all these jobs. And we've looked at the jobs before, but I've never, there's so many. And as I said before, that's always a sign that a company is investing in its future if it's investing in people. And the roles are a whole, you know, gamut of roles, from the Stadia commercial, you know, consumer facing stuff to strategic partnerships, which I've mentioned and suggested might be like with, you know, AT&T and things like that. Working directly with publishers and developers on the Stadia front in terms of offering, you know, bringing games to Stadia. So a whole mix, engineering front, the front end of Stadia, the back end of Stadia in terms of the, you know, the commerce and the payment systems, front end in terms of the user interface, the developer tools for Stadia. All these roles, as I say, cover a vast mix of roles for Stadia. So I'm excited about that. When I see that, as I say, an investment in jobs is an investment in the business. Yeah, that's exactly what that is. And it's just very encouraging. We've seen it before, but it's just, when you put all the jobs together, there's just a hell of a lot of jobs. So anyway, we can't necessarily say exactly what direction Stadia is going into, what form it takes, but it's going somewhere, and it's going somewhere into the future because they're investing in it. They're investing for people to develop tools for it. As I say, develop the front end, develop the back end, sell it, do partnerships, all of this. So it's just interesting. And as I say, the channel director role, not necessarily an indication that they're rolling out Stadia, but an indication that Stadia is very much considered part of their portfolio of services that they, need to get on the old profit and loss line, and sell. So I, for one, I'm really excited about what year 3 in Stadia Life brings to Stadia. So there we go. Let's go to the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, let's go to chat. Just close that down a minute. And see what you guys have been saying in chat. I've been a lot of chat. I probably missed some chats and stuff like that. Tifa's been playing Cyberpunk, Dirt, Riders Republic. Oh yeah, and the wine game. Oh, we've done that one yet. Hello, Victor. How are you? Bi-weekly TFOS. Yeah, TFOS. Be the TFOS, wouldn't it? The Fortnightly. This fortnight on Stadia. TFOS. Yeah, no, they confirmed. Grace confirmed. It's an Americanism. Bi-weekly means every 2 weeks in America, whereas the rest of the world, it basically means fortnightly. But Grace later went on to confirm she did in fact mean every 2 weeks. Yeah, I'm going to wait for the next sale for Saints Row 3. Exactly, ain't news. And Gemma, 9 to 5 only cover it if Gem highlights it. Gem should pay them, they should pay Gem. Yeah, it will be. Whether they mean, I think what they mean, potentially it could be just as simple communicating on the Reddit and on the Discord. I've noticed I don't know if you're a member of the Discord. I don't really do Discord that much, but they've been making announcements. They made announcements last week on Discord. And then obviously they make announcement on the Reddit. So is that what they mean by interacting? Don't know. Gotta love Reddit, of course. Shout out to Inled. Just like my chat. Yeah. No, chat's always cheery. Apart from you good self, Victor. No, joking. I always love you guys in chat. It's always, I love reading your chat and having a conversation. It's going to be so boring, exactly, without a TFOS. We're going to have to make stuff up. That's what we do anyway, isn't it? Indeed, Jerome, hit the likes. GFN may work for some, but Stadia is the name of the game here. You know this. Good luck with converting the Willy Stadians, but you may find a few takers. It does. World War Z looks fun. A lot of fun. I mean, I enjoy the co-op in Zombie Army 4. This looks more of that. Hey, Geek to Sneak, how are you, sir? How are you, sir? Yeah. Classic Rando. Honestly, check out Classic Rando, ladies and gentlemen. Nearly every community Stadia blog. Like since day one. And as I was pointing out on my members exclusive stream, join down below, as I was pointing out, he's walked out the door so many times in a grump. I'm done with Stadia. That's it. Is this the best you've got? I'm done. Well, why you keep going in the Stadia community blog? when you go out, when you walk out the door, shut the door after you, mate. You know, it's funny. Should have seen me on Reddit though. Although Reddit, I was all geared up to have a laugh and be really sarcastic with Reddit on the Stadia Reddit Friday, exclusive to channel members. And yet, because of the Pro title announcements, for once, Reddit was overwhelmingly positive. Despite everything I've just said, it was actually overwhelmingly positive, which is great to hear. I have tried the GeForce app. It didn't function for me at all on the LG C1, but I think when they update it, when LG bring their own web OS version of GeForce app, as they are with the Stadia app, I think hopefully it would work better. But again, I'm not that interesting. Outriders, which removed some features in the last patch. Really? Thought they were meant to be doing that. FIFA issues. I think there were some FIFA issues, but they fixed them. Some of them. So in the names went a bit doolally, but they got fixed, as I understand. State share is such a cool idea. It would be really cool when you start getting a community and people sort of laying down the challenge, as id Software have done with their horde mode on Doom Eternal. Can you do better than them? It's like the old arcade. Can you put your initials, your top 3 initials at the top within the community? Yeah, crossplay with other platforms is absolutely crucial, I'd say, for games. And crossplay is coming to Dirt 5, so that should be good. It's just Victor there. Are they investing in Stadia? I've bought 2 Stadia gamepads and the R2 key goes to waste in a few days. Really? You must have a bad batch, Samuel. My Founders Edition, which is by my telly, and my Wasabi version, still going strong to this day. So that sounds you've got an unfortunate bad batch. Yeah. I'd like to see some interesting colours. Some new colours would be good. It would be great for people to try the app when it comes to TV. Are we talking the GeForce app in particular? Yeah. I'm still using I'm waiting for the LG version of the app, because if it's anything like the LG web OS versions of Netflix and whatever, I think, they're tuned perfectly for their own TVs. So they just, I don't know, it just might be me, but I just think YouTube, Netflix looks, the web OS, LG web OS versions of those apps play those better than the Google, the Chromecast with Google TV plugged into it, because obviously it's an app built specifically for LG. So while Stadia the Dirt 5, don't get me wrong, Stadia looks amazing on the LG, but just wondering whether it's just going to look even slightly more amazing with the LG app. We will see. Oh, I missed out. Sir, I apologize. Did it not flash up? I missed that. Consignio, good old Consignio. Clive, you're spot on. You don't invest in your people if Stadia is going to fade away like some cloud journalists and game. Well, of course. Exactly. Just look at the evidence. I say it every week, Consignio. It's all there. Yeah. Just look at all the games. Unless you sort of some fatalistic saying, oh, they're going to go out with a bang. Which is, businesses don't do that, do they? It's crazy. So, they keep adding games all the time. Is it sometimes a massive splash? No, but is it a constant drip, 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 adding and building? As I said, how many? 111 pro games? brand new games, Saints 4, although it's not brand new, but you know what I mean? Like coming to the platform. That was a surprise. Plus all the games we know are coming. Plus now, World War Z in old money, World War Z. The Fire strategy game announced. So 2 new games that we weren't even aware of coming. Nobody had got a clue in. The gossip mongers hadn't kind of worked. Brand new to us. So yeah. But yeah, always a sure sign of investment in a company is investment in people. Yay, Ray, bumping through the car speakers. Good to hear. Get your bass, your subwoofer. This is just for Ray. Yeah, I'm available for bar mitzvahs, christenings, and all of that. Yeah, well, of course, EA hedging their bets, Samuel. Of course they do. Got stuff on, Xbox, got stuff on GeForce Now, Stadia. Next, there's no doubt they knew. I don't think anybody would necessarily disagree with you. Everybody's marketing could do with some improvement, but I do think they need. I do wonder if that is an area where they're slightly underinvested from a people person point of view. I wonder, not necessarily the amount of people, but maybe at a senior level to focus specifically on Stadia, have a kind of strategy. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it's all coming together. And I said before on this show, if you're new to Stadia, you're getting a pretty compelling package. 39 Stadia Pro games if you subscribe, over 200 titles, loads of features, those features coming to new games, free trial. So as I say, if they roll out to another country right now, you've got, as a marketing company, you've got a lot to work with. A lot more than you had to when Stadia first launched, and many of the features it promised that were coming obviously weren't there at the get-go, and that caused a lot of disappointment in a lot of people who assumed, rightly or wrongly, and again, that's about managing the message. Stadia not managing their message properly. A lot of people assumed that all the features Stadia talked about would be there from day one. Although those of us that were paying attention knew very clearly that Stadia said they would be adding the features over time, which is what they did. But people just hear the first line and then rush out and file their report and don't listen to the detail. And again, that's partly on Stadia to manage that narrative. But yeah, so a lot of features that were mentioned would be coming to Stadia weren't there on day one, and that disappointed people. Could be argued went to some way to kind of leave a bad taste in some journos' mouths. But if you're launching in India right now, or wherever you are, you've got all these features. You've got over 200 games. You've got nearly 40 games in Stadia Pro library. You've got free to try games. So from a marketing team point of view, pretty impressive package. Yeah, it makes sense for them to make money putting it on Pro. Exactly. What I'm curious about, I'd like to know, I mean, I'm not going to know. I don't know what's gone on between EA or Codemasters and Stadia, is whether it was pre-agreed that it would be a Pro game 10 months ago when they first did the deal, or whenever they did the deal, or whether it was a recent thing, partly driven by the new Stadia Pro revenue model. I don't know. I can't answer that. Nobody can, apart from Codemasters, EA, and Stadia. But I'm curious what that situation was. Michael, how are you, sir? Good to see you. I nearly bought Dirt 5, but I forgot, and I'm glad I did now. Saints Row 4 costs less than 3 Remake. Interesting. Yeah, we could do a better UI on TVs. They're constantly updating the Chrome browser version, and we see adding new features. I noticed, in fact, if we have a look, on the store, I have seen some improvements. And the family channel bit and all these kind of stuff. We just go, let me just go play news, properties. Yeah, we look on the store here. Now, in fairness, I think I'm on the enhanced version here. But yeah, I am. Look, you've got his updated version here. But some of these features are, they're beginning to feature these big banners here. And here, like battle mode, play now, click instantly. Then the on sale. Then here you've got this is what we're talking about, the games being sorted in terms of where you can play games that feature Stream Connect, games that feature crowd play. If you're a streamer or a content creator and you play games, it's really useful to say, okay, we're just going to play these games so that I can do crowd play with my chat and stuff like that. State share, crowd choice, Stadia Pro deals, Stadia Pro games, all games, free games. And here, look, I love this bit, children and family games, because obviously that's filling out now. Of course, there's a bonkers sale on Tomb Raider, all things Tomb Raider. Look, the only game I haven't got is this one. Because I played it, I kind of almost want to buy it just so I've got it in the collection, but I'm never going to play it again. So it would be a bit futile. But anyway, there you go. So they're always tweaking the store, but obviously, yeah, it could do with a big improvement. I don't doubt that. Yeah, it's good, and it is going to increase the amount of people you can play multiplayer with, and of course, obviously, when crossplay comes, which hopefully is soon, then obviously that's going to massively increase the pool of people you can play with. That's it, Dominic. Reverse the Resident Evil DLC that we're meant to be getting, that they've sort of delayed. That was the one. So it's interesting. Either IGN are being super lazy and not putting those two together, or the Resident Evil Village DLC stuff I mentioned is in fact new stuff in addition to Reverse. Don't know. But anyway. Yeah, I need to get back to Cyberpunk, but I'm sort of stuck on some... I don't think I update my weapons very well, because it's always a struggle. Yeah, we showed the trailer for Motherland, Twisted Barber. Is it? FIFA on sale? Oh, I've already got it. Is it just the... Because they don't look like it's on sale there. Am I missing it? Is it the FIFA 21 or the Ultimate Editions? Is it Pro deals? I don't know what Stadia Pro. Anyway, interesting. Wasabi, exactly. My controllers work great. Used 2 years now. Something is happening at Stadia HQ. Grace have a stressful weeks for weeks, according to their podcast. They did cast a little shade to Stadia on today's podcast. Interesting. Yeah. Beatboxing hero. There we go, Ray. Big box, little box. Yeah, so Grace has a gaming podcast that she does in her personal time. Forget what it's called. Somebody put it in the chat. Let Cannonoli know. It's on her Twitter page. There we are. It's on her Twitter page. There is a link. Noah, how are you? Is there new Stadia games out? Well, today, Noah, yes. Saints Row 4 is available as a pro title. And we've got World War Z. Well, there's a whole gamut of stuff that came out last week. But they had announcements of World War Z, zombie game, and a fire strategy game. In fact, if we go to store, so last week was Riders Republic. You've got PJ Masks, Heroes of the Night, Dragon Ball Z came out last week, Peppa Pig, Child of Light, and Saints Row Re-Elected. All came out in the last week or so, Noah. So there we go. I just use Android TV. Perfect. The Tomb Raiders on Stadia are brilliant. They just look amazing. I'm with you now. I love the games, man. Yeah. I played them. One of them became a pro title. It's one of the first pro titles. I've been quite lucky, really, in terms of games I've bought ending up as pro titles. But then I don't buy that many games. And the games I do buy are massive, like FIFA 22. They're unlikely to end up as pro titles. But yeah, so even though I'd played a lot of the Tomb Raider games on Xbox, I jumped at the opportunity to play them when early doors in those first few months of Stadia. Loved it. Rarely use PC or mobile Stadia by some readers and a backbone. Okay. Oh, wow. So I saw Sunny Cloud Games. He's still holding out for it. He is holding out for it. I'm trying careful not to confuse my optimism. No, I'm trying carefully not to confuse wishful thinking or let wishful thinking overtake the more rational and pragmatic side of my brain. You know me, I'm a pragmatic guy. I like evidence, proof before I make these kind of statements. But the wishful thinking part of me thinks, yes, it's definitely coming. Not definitely coming, but it's coming. I want it to come. But the practical side of me think I'm still not sure. If I was the account manager, the product manager for Stadia, I'd be working hard trying to convince Take-Two to bring it to Stadia. And you could speculate that maybe is what is happening. It's still ongoing, or they've recently done the deal and whatever, and it'll come. But I would say I'm not hopeful. Yeah, no, I would. I think I'm going to urge on the course of caution, on the path of caution here. And I'd say, I'm sorry, I'm not sure it is going to come. If I'm being really practical about it. Because I think if it was, it would have been announced. The only reason it wouldn't be announced, not is because Stadia want to keep it under wraps. Potentially, I don't know. Again, this is all speculation. Would be because the deal wasn't done at the time when they made the announcement, or there's still a few things to iron out, or Stadia genuinely want to do some sort of stealth drop. It's not quite Stadia's style, is it? Maybe they've done it. Or it's not coming at all. They're your three options anyway. So yeah, I'm not totally convinced. It would of course be great. Oh, the Ultimate Edition. Thank you, Michael. That is good. Good old chunk off that. Definitely. Most impressive. Let's go to the new studio. Yeah. Yeah, so I was looking at these games. I'm going to give this Horde mode a go, I think, later. Anybody tried the Doom Eternal Battle Mode? Horde mode, new master levels and Battle Mode 2 are live. I might give those a go. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for Michael for pointing that out. That's it. That's the show. It's like a bumper news week, really. Yeah. I've tried to sort of research, look at clues, research at Rockstar Dundee, see if there's any clues on there, any of their, some of the developers there and their LinkedIn pages. Yeah, I've stalked them properly. Nothing, no telltale hints. So I just don't want to be I just don't want to be optimistic about it. So I'm being cautious for a change, not a change. It would be purely guesswork, purely guesswork. I don't have any evidence, even though it was leaked. You know, that leak, that could just be A, it's a leak. B, leaks are probably full of holes and assumptions. And when it said, yeah, we're delivering it on all platforms, somehow somebody said, oh, that means includes Stadia. And then that got perpetuated. And I mean, like, you just have to see on Reddit how misinformation is perpetuated as fact. Oh, that means they've got no news. Yeah, I agree. That's true. That must be true. That must be true. That must be true. That must be. Yeah, I agree. They got no news. No. 250 people wasting their time on a bit of erroneous information, which within half an hour was proved wrong. So, you know how news spreads, misinformation spreads. So, yeah, there we go. I am very happy with my new PC, although it's very loud. But my son says, that's how it is, Dad. That's how it is. Yeah. So there we go. Well, we know that they're working on it. Rockstar Dundee are the ones that are working on it. That's all we do know. Or worked on it. Anyway, fingers crossed, as we say. It would be awesome, wouldn't it? Say all the naysayers, well, why didn't they just... Imagine this, right? Imagine this. They do say, you know, and I don't think necessarily they're going to do anything amazing for their birthday or anything like that, or, you know, their anniversary date. Personally, again, if they did, great. Hey, I'm more than happy for you to come rushing to me because they've done something amazing on their anniversary. I'd rather, you know, be wrong and say they're not doing something. And then you lot will say, you were wrong, Clive. I'd be happy to be wrong if that's the case. But say, speculate, so hypothetically, hypothetically, say they did bring it, you know, GTA out this month, you know, 3 weeks' time, dropped it. You can guarantee all the naysayers in Reddit going, well, like not going, oh, that's amazing, that's awesome, brilliant, oh, awesome, brilliant, fantastic, great. No, your classic randos will be going, well, I don't know why they didn't just say they were bringing it out 6 weeks ago. Why all the smoke and mirrors? Why did they have to delay it until now? Like, yeah, you can guarantee that's what will happen, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, let's hope, fingers crossed, as Case Paul says, fingers crossed. Let's hope, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, on that note, again, thank you for all of you taking part in chat. Thank you to all my wonderful, wonderful members. Don't forget, I'm trying to be doing Stadia Reddit Friday, exclusive to channel members this Friday and all of that. Lord Kensal will be streaming at 9 p.m. UK time. We're on Greenwich Mean Time now. It's the end of the British summertime now. British summertime ended clockwise. Anyway, at the weekend. 9 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. Tomorrow, Lord Kensal will be streaming. Maybe streaming Saints Row 4. Don't know. He hasn't told me yet. So anyway, have a good night, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Really appreciate you being here in the chat with me, having a chat, all of that. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. Sayonara, babies.